My name is Matt Serra.
Serra buckles St. Pierre, takes it all down again. Serra is trying to hold that St. Pierre.
Good lord. He's hurt him 3 times in only 60 seconds.
Serra is the new welterweight champion of the world.
Black belt under the legendary master Renzo Gracie, and I run Serra BJJ here in Long Island. What Jiu Jitsu means to me, Jiu Jitsu it's my life. It's not only my livelihood. You know, it's funny. In my post-fight career, I always was teaching and fighting hand by hand. I was a teacher before I was a fighter. I was working for Renzo as a purple belt. He gave me a job for him, teaching Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And you know, I knew when I was done fighting, I made a name for myself. I had the title, I got the belt in the UFC, and I was about to open up I upgraded both my schools. I'm going to give you a longer answer, but this is the way I answer a little question. It's just I gotta stretch it out. I give you more than you need, but you know, I put a lot of money into my schools. I have these 2 beautiful schools here on Long Island, serrabjj.com. And passing on the beautiful art of jiu-jitsu that Renzo passed on to me. And you know, it's funny, before I opened up, I had the Christmas cards ready. I was going to be Serra MMA because it was, you know, I wanted to really get a broader clientele. At the last second, I threw those in the garbage, and I ended up keeping it Serra BJJ because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I love all martial arts, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is, you know, Renzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is just, it's in my blood. It's what I do. I've retired 4 years now. I haven't fought in 4 years. And I haven't kickboxed or boxed one day since. I'll play around and I'll do the pads and whatnot. But I need to roll. I need to roll. And that's just, it's, as far as what it is to me, it's my therapy. It's more than just my job. I need it. Some people need a shrink. Some people need a couple of shots of Jack or whatever they do to unwind. I need to roll. I need to defend. I need to strangle people. I need to pull off sweeps. I need to work my jiu-jitsu because this is a part. It's like, to me, it's like just, it's part of breathing. It's like living. It's breathing. It's eating. It's jiu-jitsu. Like, I was always into the martial arts as a kid. I didn't do any sports. You know, I'd play around with my friends, like football and this and that. But as far as, you know, in school, nothing really interested me. My other kids were playing Little League, and my father had me watching Kung Fu theater, you know what I mean, Bruce Lee. So I used to do Wing Chun Kung Fu. But every time I got into a real fight, I'd end up tackling a guy or, you know, just grabbing him and putting his head into my knee. Grappling came natural for me. You know, I wrestled a couple years in junior high, but any time I got into a real fighting situation, all the Wing Chun went out the window. I'd start with a straight blast chain punch, and then I ended up just doing a double leg. So when I found the Gracie in Action series, and I found Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was just instantly, I was hooked. Right, first day on the mat, this is what I want to do. I'm like, you tell me there's no forms, it's no bullshit. It's just making the guy submit, or you're gonna either break an arm or put him to sleep or get a dominant position. It was just a beautiful thing from day one, and I was hooked. And it's been 20 years later, and I'm still hooked. I'll tell you, training under Master Renzo you know, being the first American to get a black belt under Renzo Gracie is one of my greatest accomplishments, and it's something I really just hold dear to me. It's just such an honor. I'm so lucky where I've seen Renzo. I've been here since he got off the boat, literally, since he arrived in New York, and you know, he was just, I had the privilege of just being able to learn from him every day. I mean, 5 days a week in the city, I'd you know, be under his guidance, you know, and he just took me under his wing, and I had nothing to offer but my loyalty, which which I take a bullet for Renzo right now. I had nothing to give back, but just my loyalty and he gave me a life. I was working all night security, and one day he told me I'm training like shit, and he goes, what are you doing? And I go, man, Renzo, I'm up till midnight to 8 in the morning. I take a nap. I jump on the Long Island Railroad to come see you. I go back to work after this. I'm shot. He goes, man, get out of that. You're gonna work here. The next day I came in, I was the happiest guy in the world scrubbing those toilets. I didn't give a crap, and I never looked back. And he took me on this journey, and the journey's still continuing. I'm passing on to my students the lessons that Renzo passed on to me, both on and off the mat. And it's like the Lion King. It's the circle of life. It's a beautiful thing. Training under Renzo Gracie at the Renzo Gracie Academy, the goal is just to get you. It's to get you better. It's to make you a better martial artist, make you better at jiu-jitsu, make you better as a person. Renzo's the type of guy with each lesson that he wants to see your technique get better, but I've seen people grow as human beings. People come in a little insecure, and they're leaving with a different swagger, a more confident person than when they came in, and that's a beautiful thing. I've had many great experiences and memories at training under Renzo and at the Renzo Gracie Academy. There's so many to think. I can't even. One that really stands out is in 2000. He had myself and Renzo Gracie, my roommate at the time and best friend. We were both brown belts, and he had us. There must have been anywhere between 40 to 50 people. It was a packed class. The academy was packed that night, and he had us out of nowhere. He goes, everybody get against the wall, and he had me and Rodrigo do a 10-minute feet to floor match. I'm like, all right, I had a fight coming up. We were going to go to Japan, and then we had a great match. Thank God it was a very even match. And at the very end, he brought out 2 black belts. I was actually. It's weird how I ended up over in Abu Dhabi, because I was already I was training for a fight in Japan, the fight in Pride, and we went over to Pride, and I was backstage, and my opponent, who was from Brazil, Joel de Oliveira, some lucha libre fighter. The lady told us, the Japanese lady, don't be careful the fireworks. She was talking about the pyrotechnics, that they're gonna come up from the ground. Don't walk past the X on the ramp. So I guess the Brazilian didn't get the memo, and he got lit up like a Christmas tree. And it's safe to say the fight was off. So I was in shape. I didn't get the fight in Japan. I got a nice trip over there. We had a good time. But I go, Renzo, man, I'm in shape. I go, there's that Abu Dhabi qualifier. It's in Indiana. It was at a hook and shoot fight event. And I go, if I can get a spot in that, out of 8 guys, 1 guy can go. It's a tournament. So I go, let me get in that. So myself, a couple other black belts under Renzo Gracie, Paul Creighton, and Sean Williams, along with my buddy Chad LeBron. We did a road trip, and we drove from New York to Indiana. Sean Williams, Renzo Gracie Black Belt, actually grew up in Indiana. So I went to that tournament. 8 men enter, 1 man goes to Abu Dhabi, and booyah! The short Italian won. I got 3 submissions, 2 arm locks and a choke, 1 arm lock and 2 chokes, and I ended up getting a ticket over to Abu Dhabi, which was wild, man. Well, I'm going to tell you the type of person Renzo is, which you don't need to know, but it's funny. Not too long ago, I talked to Renzo. And he lives over a couple hours from Long Island. He lives like 2.5 hours, closer to 3. And so he's not right down the block. And then he heard that my mother was sick. I told him, she's sick, and my mother's got cancer and whatnot. So I told him this, and then a couple days later, I get a call from my mother's house. I'm like, hey, Mom, what's going on? And she goes, Renzo's here. I go, what? Like, what are you talking about? And then he goes, what's up, Papa? I go, Renzo. I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'll bring the kids. He goes, nah, I can't stay too long. I just came to visit Mama. He came with flowers, chocolates, popped in like a Brazilian ninja, gave my mother a big hug, brought stuff, made it have smiles all around. And he got out of there. And, nobody, he didn't do it for anything, just to make my mother happy, And that's the type of person Renzo is. He's just a great human being. And it's the stuff that people don't see, which is even more impressive than his impressive, fighting career, is that he's that type of guy, that he'll just, a lot of friends and people you're close with, they'll be like, oh, that guy will be there for me if something ever happened, it doesn't really hold true to a lot, or it's just words for most people. But Renzo, I'll tell you, there's more than one time where I needed him, and and he's there for you, he came out to visit my mother just to put a smile on her face, and he didn't even let me know. He didn't say, oh, I'm coming. He just went in his car and he visited, rang the bell, and they're like, yo, Renzo's here. So Renzo's just a great guy. That might not be the story you're looking for, but that's the story that just stands out in my mind of what kind of great person Renzo is. Let me tell you, if you're anywhere in the area, if you're visiting Manhattan, if you live in Manhattan, anywhere near it, there's no finer place to train than, get your jiu-jitsu, you start your jiu-jitsu journey at the Renzo Gracie Academy. It worked for me. Hell, I got a title. I won a lot of things, and we're family. Me and Renzo are family. So he's a beautiful guy, a human being, and a great person. And he's got a phenomenal, the best academy on the East Coast.